you? We downtown LA in the fashion district. About to check on my brother Barter. His studio that he had for a while, man. No patent. He made the patent.
Nah, no
He said he just never used the patent.
Nah. He took like my Roy X-ray and then just like did the like.
I can't be in LA and not check out my dude Barter. Like Barter is like my brother. He got like a good heart, a real spirit, powerful brand that he's created. It's important for the culture and it means a lot to me. And to know that there's a great person behind it makes it even more special. Sometimes he flies out to Turkey and I'm introducing him to different manufacturers that I know or giving him any information that I have, and that's reciprocated. Like we both open book. In this industry, you'll find like a lot of people compete with one another. We not after that. Both of us, like it's a brotherhood, like it's a real brotherhood. Like when he wins, I win. When I win, he wins.
Same too, if you tell me I need to do more content, cause like I need to do that, like doing my events, cause honestly I don't be doing a lot of content like that, but just to have like, you know, something that makes sense, and now like I can tell my story.
You also want to be in that Nike space where you resell the same thing over and over for the next 50 years. Mm-hmm. How many pairs of Air Force Ones you bought in your life? Then you just buying different color variations of the same thing. We try and create new product every season. We need that product that you keep selling over and over. But like this chicken sandwich, they come up with the recipe one time, and now they're gonna sell the same piece of chicken millions of times. Well, it's really all fashion brands, but even if you look at like LV, they still gonna sell that keep all. Mm-hmm. That's where they make all their money. They're gonna sell that keep all over and over and over. Pair of Levi's. They selling that same pair of Levi's over and over and over. That's where the real money get made. Them other expenses just be marketing.
That's what I was gonna do too. Like the stuff that's on the rack, I was gonna like slowly put that. You know, like if whoever places an order, I'll put like a size run of jackets in there too with it. You know what I'm talking about? Like some shit like that. Niggas really just want the hoodies though. Like shit's really crazy.
And your brand is educational. Is all kinds of other verticals that barriers can cover that's not where you might not even have to deal with manufacturing costs.
Yeah, like the school shit, like you deal with Dame. Like how you think that's something I could like plan and like
just start coming with us.
Yeah. Yeah, facts.
We just be up there talking how we be talking. So I just be talking, and I'm like, we celebrating Black History, but you know how long Black history has been being sold on garments, but hasn't been profited on by the Black community. You be like, in barriers is the first time we seen that. You be like, now you got a Black-owned brand that's vertically integrated and is a Black man telling the story of Black heroes and profiting from it and putting that money back into the community. You be like, so when I see somebody wearing a shirt that's not barriers, it's goofy to me. Mm-hmm. You be like, because why would a Black man have on something celebrating Black culture and it's not barriers? Like, we know that that's his lane. He created that lane and it's Black owned. You know, you buy these other brands, you don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
But that's like, for you, it would be the chest rig, right? Like you just, now we're gonna release them camouflage joints this week. Yep. We're gonna do the patent leather next week. Yep. And you know, and do you think that will work?
20 years later. Yeah. I've known AD for years now. AD is the largest Black supplier of herbs in America, maybe in the world. The thing that I love about AD is he's a serial entrepreneur like myself. Like AD doesn't know how to have a good idea or hear a good idea and not try it or invest into it. Like he's one of them people, if it sounds like a good idea, he's willing to try it out. And we've always bonded in that way. We just talk about like business theory and business concepts for like hours and hours.
So
But
then-
it's one of them things like you got to remember. This is what you got to remember. A lot of people don't realize. The Jordan 1s was dead for 20 years, and then they brought them back. It was a time where he wasn't re-releasing the old pairs. He just started re-releasing the old pairs in like the 2000s.
I think, yeah, after he retired, right? Then he went back and released the old pair.
Right. Because at one point, like, it wasn't like you could go back and buy 3s or 4s. You had to just buy them as they was coming out. So that made them like a commodity. It created like a commodity market for him. Then when he was like, oh, we re-releasing the 1s, we re-releasing the 4s, we re-releasing the 6s, that's when it started on.
So you think if you did the chest rigs and re-release it, would they sell?
You gotta wait for it to come back. Because the chest rig was like a thing, and then it phased out. I actually owe a lot to AD spiritually because he introduced me to fasting. For a while, he was the health and wellness coach on the Steve Harvey show. You know, because of his cleanses, I would do these fasts and I would learn about different herbs that can help you in different ways. And that kind of led me on like a whole spiritual journey.
YouTube theater, they have like a little lounge where you can like hang out and stuff. So that's where like everybody industry-wise was.
You know Anita?
The artist?
Yeah.
I mean, I know of her. I don't know.
She was working with Anita too. I'll put you in touch with the team.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's easy. We was just with him. We was with him all weekend.
This is my friend who does fashion. Remember I told you?
I introduced you to him.
No.
You can send Mark Anthony a song for us. I have a song that I know.
What, is that Phoenix?
No, Renate, the Columbia song.
Oh, I like this song
You
too.
remember John Eric who was with us this weekend?
Mm-hmm.
That's Mark Anthony's nephew.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
That song is like for him to get on it, you know, like a feature.
He suggested that I meet a friend of his who would be a great potential partner, maybe even a capital partner. Because as you try to grow and you try to scale, capital is necessary. And a lot of the times when you want to gain capital, people want to take control of your company. And you know, for me, I need to be in control of my company because I have a very stern vision. Like my vision is extremely important, and I'm not willing to compromise my vision for money.
Fabrics in China, garments in Vietnam and Cambodia. Right, but I don't sell to the retailer myself. I have customers who sell to the retailer.
So do you do licenses? Like, do you purchase licenses and distribute through different licenses? Or
No.
So you don't do any marketing. You attach yourself to brands that do marketing.
Correct.
You own the factories, or you have good relationships with the factories?
Relationships. No, nobody owns anything in China if you're not Chinese, or Vietnam for that matter.
Right.
But it's all contracted out. I've been doing business there for 25 or 30 years.
I'm a leather goods producer. I started out producing leather goods in LA. It ended up being at a luxury price point because I sell it to a particular client, and just because of the nature of how I was making it is expensive because I was making like
In LA, I can imagine.
yeah. So then I kind of grew that out, and then it got to the point where we maybe sell like 500 to 1,000 pieces a year, which is still like a teeny bit. It was hard for me to scale, so now if I started scaling, now I can produce 1,000 pieces a month, which is a lot more for me, but I haven't hit the capacity where I could sell 1,000 pieces a month. My manufacturing has superseded my marketing output, right? So now I'm looking like I could buy other brands that have marketing potential because I have the manufacturing facility. The problem is when I started to scale, there's not enough leather artisans in Los Angeles. Like I could find a few people that do leather jackets, but there's not a lot of people who make like Hermes quality leather bags in Los Angeles. The trade is just not alive here. I've built a manufacturing facility in Turkey. I've been on the ground there for like the last 6 months building it. I've been on the ground there for the
When you
last...
say building it, you own it? Or
I own it.
You own it.
Yeah, like I actually own it. Like the employees work for me, they on payroll. But I've been working with them for 2 years, so I understand their ethics. Like how you said the Chinese, like Turkish people don't want an American there doing things either. But what happened is I was there, I worked with a company for 2 years, and I built rapport with the employees. And I just came in, I paid everybody 20% more than they was making. Being there for 6 months, now I've built out the manufacturing sector of it, where now I can make 1,000 bags a month, where before my output was only 500 bags a year. You know, I'm leveraging. I don't have a huge budget, I don't have any lines of credit. So I took all of my profit and I built the factory, and now I'm like, okay, I gotta get the marketing back together. I'm trying to like, you know, juggle it and hold it together and build out the different verticals. So now the way I have it set up where I'm doing my brand, obviously, because that's my bread and butter, but I'm also doing manufacturing for other brands.
As opposed to owning the brand and paying 12%, then you're making the GP less than 12%.
It's a combination of both, and it's not defined yet. I think I want to see what's more lucrative for me in the long run, so right now I'm kind of filling it out. But I know what I want. My point is to get to a point where I'm acquiring brands that have potential to sell a bunch of products. So we could say we're selling, 10 million handbags a year under different
And who would market that?
So Disney, I'm going to Disney tomorrow. So there's 3 things going on at Disney. So I was doing, I don't know if you remember my stuff, but I kind of started off, I would take a Fortune 500 company and I would impose on their IP. Like I would just, because I was making stuff by hand. I didn't have the equipment. So I would just be like, I'm going to make a Mickey Mouse bag because I think Mickey Mouse is cool. And I would just make like a one-off Mickey Mouse bag that was cool. And then it would go viral. And then people would be like, oh, I want the Mickey Mouse bag. I'm like, okay, they $5,000. And then people, okay. And I sell 100 of them. So in that Disney found me.
Got the letter from the lawyers.
Right. But Disney actually reached out and was like, let's make that official. We like it. Let's make that official. Because what's happening now with it's like a renaissance of like young creatives, and I think they realizing like there's a marketing value there. So rather than them send me a cease and desist, they sent me we like this. Let's do more of these and put them in our stores. And I'm like, all right. They actually are flying me to Disney World tomorrow. They have a program. It's like a Dreamers program where they bring in kids from all over. So they want me to come experience that, and the executives are in town, so I'll meet with them tomorrow to build out on that.
So I gotta say, it sounds like you have all this wired pretty well.
How do I find someone that can extend lines of credit so that I could build, at whatever interest they comfortable with? And then I think by next year, once the Disney contract is in place and a couple of these other contracts in place, I'll be able to truly evaluate the value of the brand.
You're looking for a line of credit, someone to give you a line of credit for X amount of percent, X amount of interest?
Just to be honest, I'm not an exiter. I'm not building a business with the goal to exit at the end. I'm building a business with the idea of generational ownership. I don't want to build it to $1 billion and sell it off. I want to build it to $1 billion and then build it to 10 billion and then to 100 billion. I have to make it. I have to touch it. I have to be involved with it. I like going to the farm and seeing the cow. I like seeing the leather process. I like being in the tannery. I like product development. I'm an engineer at heart. For me, I'm more focused on my life work. I'm more focused on legacy. I don't do it for the money. It's great to make money so that I could build the legacy even further, but I'm not doing it to reach a monetary bottom line. And when you're speaking to somebody or any potential partner, it's important that they understand that, because if I'm chasing a way to build my legacy in the best way possible and the person is chasing money, we're chasing 2 completely different things. I don't care about the money. I care about the quality of what's being built. And sometimes you have to sacrifice money in order to achieve that.